Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the ERDL camo pattern and how it repeats itself and how it changed between 1969 and 1978. Now let's start by taking a look at the repetition in the pattern. So first things first, on the right we have some jungle fatigues from 1969. So these are a little bit different cut on the front, but we'll make a different video comparing the two. And the color is slightly different because it's a lowland pattern, whereas on the left we have an ERDL RDF, or Rapid Deployment Force uniform, which is more in common with the BDU cut. And it's a little bit different color because it's the lowland version. So instead of this green color, we have like a brownish color. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. Today, we're here to talk about the pattern itself. So let's take a look on the right. What you notice for some repetition is, let's look at this piece right here. This particular shape, we can find it again right down here. So already within the length of the uniform, this pattern has repeated itself. And if we look at this larger shape as well right here, we can see it repeats itself right here. And then for some other repetition, we can see right here, we have this long black prickly piece repeat itself up here. So already within the length of this uniform, and this uniform is medium long, we can already see the pattern itself basically repeating itself twice. And if we look on the left, what we find is the same thing. So for reference, let's take a look at this big piece right here. We have like this black M shape, and then this other large shape here. And then we have this version repeating itself right here. So already within the uniform, we have a repetition of 2 times. Now what I noticed in these pieces is there's actually a slight overlap. So this gives us an idea on to how the original rolls might have looked of fabric. So let's take a closer look and I'll show you exactly where they overlap. Okay, so as we get closer here, I'm going to pull them apart a little bit. You'll see this piece here, these 3 little indents right here. This one has them as well. We've got this piece sticking out, and then for down here we've got this little bump right here. So these all basically, this little section right here overlaps somewhat. So now we have a better idea of how the whole fabric roll might have looked. And another comparison which is interesting is on this older piece from 1969, the pattern is actually slightly smaller. I mean, look at this part, these little branches, which are definitely the same, because we can see them repeating here, they're much smaller. Well, not much, but they're significantly smaller than on the left. And another thing you might notice is the uniforms are upside down. So for the RDF one, I had to kind of like flip it upside down to get the patterns in the same layout. So they also kind of like flipped, or the pattern itself when they started printing like this. So that's why one of them is like this. That's like the neck. The neck is up there. So another interesting little tidbit. But anyways, if we overlay them, what we can see, okay, so line this little branch piece up like right here, and line this branch over this. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. So now we can see how the pattern looks horizontally like this, but we're still missing a few pieces, because we can see how it looks vertically. We can see how it repeats itself. So okay, we know that much. We know how it looks like that, but we don't know exactly how it would look all the way horizontally. We don't have that repeating yet, because we know it connects right here. We get to this little piece right here, but this doesn't really connect over on this side, so we're still missing like probably a piece or so in order to make it connect. And this is pretty fun because it's honestly like putting together a jigsaw puzzle, trying to figure out how the whole base pattern itself looked. And it's also pretty cool just taking a look and seeing how these little bits changed over time. And another thing you'll notice is when I make a video comparing this versus what would become Woodland, there's actually some pretty cool minor differences that they ended up tweaking. But anyway, yeah, so see, this lines up with that, this lines up here, we got this big branch piece here. But yeah, once we get to this part, we don't really find this repeating like that. The only really ways we could look for repeating is right here. And if we put like this little black part right here, there's nothing that really connects on this side, I'd say. And the same thing for this, this, tan piece doesn't really connect on this side, so it only really connects right here. So yeah, I'd say like let me take, for example, if you were to take this side and try to overlay it against this side, it wouldn't really work out. The patterns aren't really gonna connect this way. I mean, maybe you could claim like, oh, but no, it's just not gonna work out. There's more horizontally that cannot be shown by connecting these two pieces. Yeah, see, it just doesn't match up this way. It just doesn't really work out this way. But yeah, so I'll put it back. And yeah, just again, to really compare, also on this, the fabric rolls are kind of messed up because it's not really as clean as this. Like, this is a lot cleaner, whereas here you have a little bit of residue left over. But yeah, I just noticed, these pieces overlapped, and then I put them over, and then really started noticing the biggest difference with this little branch and then this right here. So yeah, definitely pretty different, but cool nonetheless. Thanks for watching, guys.